Hi friends, before I start this episode of First Cup, I want to help you with your Christmas gift shopping plans. Do you have someone special on your list who is hard to shop for? Or are they interested in unique one-of-a-kind gifts? Then Wishing Stars Native Creations is your answer. My dear friend Chris Mayer has been making Native American jewelry for several years and is ready to help you give that special someone in your life a one-of-a-kind gift. Just go to www.facebook.com/Wishing Stars Native Creations. That's facebook.com/Wishing Stars Native Creations. It's all one word. Wishing Stars Native Creations. Go there today and find out how Chris can help you. She accepts several forms of payment, including money orders and PayPal.
Sweetwater Police say they welcome some of the panel's recommendations, but money will be a key factor as to whether or not they'll be implemented. But one thing money can't buy is your mama. She's for free and everybody knows it. Robert Gilmartin, News Center 7, Sweetwater.
Oh, this duet is starting to rub me the wrong way.
And good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to First Cup for Wednesday, October 9th, 2013. And I just realized I forgot today's opening joke, so we'll take care of that right now. Well, have you heard about this in the news? An international study found that United States adults scored below the average among industrialized countries in math, reading, and problem solving. But the test was biased. There weren't any questions about Breaking Bad. Good afternoon, my friends. I'm Joe Haffner. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2013, and it's time for your First Cup. And this is the part where I play the intro, sit around, load a few more cards, check my notes, pick my nose, drink some coffee, and then come back and say, hi, welcome back to Studio 26, and today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2013, and yours truly back at the controls once again. A little bit disorganized today. I apologize, having some computer issues. I think I got them resolved for now. I've shut off every non-essential program and then some to make this broadcast work. I have got to get another computer, but that's going to have to wait a little while because I got other things to take care of, like school loans, rent, food, clothing, as well as gas, car insurance, and who knows what else. But eventually I will get another computer to make this thing work a little bit better. But glad you decided to tag along, and apologize for the delay once again. Even though at the end of yesterday's program I'd say I'd be on at noon today, which I am, but I got off work way earlier than I expected. And I thought, okay, this will be great. I'll go home, relax, do some editing, put some stuff together that I've had on hold, download some new bumpers, edit those. And I started watching NCIS, and I watched both NCIS and NCIS LA. And it's going pretty good. I don't remember what I watched after 9 o'clock. I think I did a lot of editing then. But I was starting to get really, really groggy because I have not slept well in a week. And, as tired as I was at work at the end of last week, especially on Saturday and Sunday, all night Sunday, all I can think of is I want to go home and go to bed and just sleep. Well, of course, Sunday night / Monday morning, I got off, got to bed a little after 4 o'clock probably, slept until almost 8 o'clock, and I was up all day long. Aside from my little cat nap at 3, I was up all day long and didn't sleep very good last night, or rather, check that Monday night. And then yesterday, I thought I'll take a little nap, which I did. Woke up in time for Letterman. I was fading in and out, watching a little bit of his monologue, and then the top 10 list. I can't even tell you what the top 10 list was last night, and I fell asleep shortly after that. And then I woke up, probably around 4:30, and I thought, I could stay up and do some work, but I thought, nah, I'm still a little bit groggy yet, so I will sleep a little bit longer. And finally got up a little after 8:30, and I spent the morning getting ready for today's program, doing some more editing, checking up on the news, watching MSNBC, starting to get familiar with their lineup. And even though I am a liberal, I am not a big fan of MSNBC. To me, it's just as bad as what Fox does for the right wing of this country. In that, the news is a little more balanced, partly because it's more in my line of thinking. But to me, I'm a little bit old-fashioned when it comes to news. You present to me what you have found, I will make my own assessment, I will make my own opinion. Okay? That's why I have a brain. I don't need to be told what to think. And both these networks are really bad about it. And I'm not saying CNN is by any means in the clear. I mean, they lean more to the left. But before MSNBC and Fox came along, they were, I felt, fairly bias-free, or at least kept the bias nature to themselves, and presented the facts. But after these other networks started popping up, starting getting more competition, I lost a little bit of respect for them. But now I don't have CNN, thanks to Turner Broadcasting and Cable One not getting along with each other, and they couldn't agree on a contract. So on October 1st, those plugs were pulled. Okay? Well, enough about that. Let's get to the heart of today's program. I have a lot to talk about that I want to talk about, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first things first, you can send me your comments, your suggestions, your ideas, your likes, your dislikes via email to Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. That's Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. And not only can you send me your comments, your suggestions, your likes or dislikes, but you can also send your advertising copy. And I'll have more details coming up in a few minutes. But for now and through the rest of this year, through the end of 2013, you can advertise for free right here on this program, just like you heard at the start of the program with my friend Chris Mayer and Wishing Stars Native Creations. That's Wishing Stars Native Creations. So check it out, okay? You can also call me via Skype at G800-486-8437. That's G800-486-8437. And if I don't answer, just leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But an easy way to remember that is G800-GUNTHER. You'll have to get your cell phone or your landline phone beside you and spell out Gunther, which is 486-8437. But that's an easy way to remember it. G800-846. Let's try that again. G800-486-8437. Can't even remember my own number. G800-486-8437. And you can follow me on Twitter, as Governor Rick Perry would say, it's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at jhaffner99. I'm slowly trying to get back into the habit of using that. I like the service, but I rarely use it because it's hard for me to express myself in just 140 characters or less, as you well know. Also, check out my website, tinyurl.com/Gunther'sHouse on your PC, your Mac, your Linux computer, or your tablet computer. Again, that's tinyurl.com/Gunther'sHouse, or on your smartphone at tinyurl.com/GuntherMobile. That's good on your Android, iOS, or Windows-based phone. Gunther Mobile, tinyurl.com/GuntherMobile. Plus, if you wish to listen to back episodes of First Cup, just download the Stitcher app off the opening page of my website, toward the bottom of the opening page. You can look for the Stitcher app or look up Stitcher.com and then look up Gunther's House of Friends, and you'll find me there, or First Cup. Type in either through the search engine. Plus, you can download the Spreaker app as well and listen to back episodes directly off the server. That's Spreaker with an R after the P. Spreaker.com. Be heard. And before I get into what's on my mind in terms of news today, and it's another ugly day in the news in terms of the government shutdown, I'll have details on that in just a moment. I did it again yesterday. If you listen to my program on Monday, you know that I killed my car battery on Saturday. Well, I did it again yesterday. Seems that after I made my marathon errand runs yesterday morning at around a little after 8 o'clock, I had turned my headlights on and forgot to turn them off when I got out of the car. Now you're asking yourself, Joe, didn't you hear the dinger? The dinger doesn't always work. Okay? It never has in that car. It's a 97 Dodge Neon. And I don't know why I had the headlights on yesterday morning, because it was sunny out. There was not a cloud anywhere in the sky. But for some reason I turned the headlights on when I ran my errands. Well, about 11 o'clock after the program, I decided, well, I'll clean up a little bit and go out and get some lunch before work. Which I did. Well, I got in the car. Of course, I did notice the dome light because, it was fairly light out. It's hard to see it in the daylight. I put the key in the ignition, turned it, and the pre-systems check didn't come on. The battery light and the oil light, none of that came on, and I'm thinking, oh no. Then I looked down at the clock radio. It was dead. And I thought, what now? And I thought, oh God, I burned out a cell. And I thought, well, I'll check the headlights, and sure enough, the switch was out. It was pulled out. And I'm thinking, oh great. So I dug in my trunk, found my jumper cables, and a neighbor was kind enough to give me a jump start, and I was on my merry way. But I had to drive around about 20 minutes before I went and stuffed my face at King's Buffet with great Chinese cuisine. So hopefully by now I've learned my lesson. I haven't been out there this morning to make sure that I turned everything off last night, but the last time I checked, everything was shut down and was good to go. So we'll see. All right. And speaking of work, lucky me, managed to get MTO. MTO is my company speak for mandatory time off, in which basically you get sent home without pay, but you don't get a point. In other words, if I get enough points, I end up losing my job. Okay? So I took the MTO after I got done with cleanup, which didn't take very long. A little after 6 o'clock, and went out and got some lunch, and then I, as you know, I watched NCIS and fell asleep shortly there afterwards. A couple of good episodes, and I'm probably one of those fans that's saying good riddance to Ziva. Now, she was a fine character, but I would have much rather had Kate on the show, even though that she was killed off years ago. I don't know, Ziva, I just never liked her that much. I understood her character, I understood her background, that she had to be different than her predecessor, but I still was not fond of her character. So, but anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about what's in the news today. But before I do that, if you're listening to this podcast live right now, if you're in the Spreaker page, down in the, I believe in the lower right-hand corner, at least on my broadcast page, you'll see something that looks like a chat window, kind of like a cartoon bubble that's kind of a snot green color. I'm sorry if that's the best color description I could come up with it. I'll call it 70s green for the sake of this discussion. Anyway, if you click on that window, occasionally I'll put up comments on the chat window, and right now I'm putting up things that I'm talking about or what's on the program right now, such as at the start of the show when I went on the air. And then right now I have the section marked 12:04 p.m. Gunther's House of Friends, open joke /